So you made the brave decision to go no contact with your narcissistic parent, or maybe you're thinking about doing this in the future, but you're wondering if you need to write them a long goodbye letter explaining everything about, why you're going no contact, why the things they've done caused you to feel how you felt, and all the things. And in today's video, I'm going to be answering exactly why you shouldn't. Just spoiler alert. Let's just get to the point. Don't do it. If that's good enough for you, this video's over. I'm just kidding. We'll definitely dive deeper into it and just really talk about why you really don't need to do this. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Coach Adriana, and I am a fellow survivor of narcissistic abuse, and my own healing journey is what inspired me to become a coach and help other fellow survivors to heal, set boundaries, and live life on their own terms. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and feel free to share this with someone who you think might need to see this information. And without further ado, let's dive into today's topic and let's get your shift together. So that no contact letter, should you send it to your narcissistic parent? I'm gonna share my perspective and help you understand what to expect no matter what you decide. I know I said don't do it. I stick to that. Do not do it. You will regret it. You have been warned, but we're gonna dive in and I'm gonna tell you all about what's gonna happen regardless of whether you decide to send that letter or not. So first and foremost, should you send it?
No!
I get it. There's a strong urge that's there to tell them how their behavior has hurt you. They might be playing dumb. They might be, they might have no idea why you don't really want to talk to them anymore. And again, that's literally just a tactic that narcissistic parents use to continue having control over their adult children. Maybe you want closure. Maybe you want them to finally understand, why you're making all these decisions. And we need to face it that narcissistic parents already know what they did. They just don't care. The only thing they do care about is getting supply from you. So when you go no contact, that obviously takes away supply. And when you write a letter, that letter, if you send it to them, it is supply. So there's 3 ways that they will respond to this letter, and any of those 3 ways of them responding is nefarious and is not going to be anything that is remotely going to go the way that you think it's going to go. So number 1, if we think back to the cycle of abuse, you can literally predict a narcissist's behavior by just understanding what the cycle is. Love bomb, devalue, discard. So those are the 3 options on how they're going to react to you giving them this letter when you decide to go no contact. So love bombing, they might actually apologize. And I say that in quotation marks because there is no real apology with narcissists. Just because they might say the words, I'm sorry, if you're lucky to extract those words from them, which is very difficult to do, but sometimes they will say they're sorry, but they don't actually change their behavior and they're just saying everything that you want to hear. And that is done to gain your trust. Love bombing is whatever you want to hear. It doesn't even need to be this big grand gesture. And if you recall, I recently made a video about love bombing and how it can be more subtle than we think it is. It's up here somewhere if you want to watch that. And the whole purpose of love bombing is to suck you back in and restart that cycle of abuse. So in their minds, if they think that by apologizing after they receive this letter from you, that you're potentially going to not go no contact anymore, and because finally you're getting that apology, they've just tricked you. And you can be very confident that they're gonna start devaluing you very shortly after you let them back into your life. If they don't love bomb you when they receive this letter, they might devalue you. So this is where they're gonna deny everything, guilt trip you, and make you feel like the problem. They'll take random words from this letter and make that the issue, or take it way out of context and just, they'll skim over like the big stuff, but there will be like this one little thing. And if they can make it your problem somehow and your fault, and like you were a bad child, this and that, they'll do that. It's a devaluation. It's meant to make you feel like crap. If they don't love bomb or devalue you, they're probably going to discard you. So they might ignore the letter completely and pretend they never received it. And you're going to be sort of on edge, wondering if they ever got it or what they think about it. And that might also be a trap to get you to respond or follow up with them and, that kind of thing. They also might use that letter to continue or launch a smear campaign against you. They're going to show it to other people and, laugh about things that you said behind your back, get people to see like what an awful person you are, etc. Regardless, whatever their reaction is, you are setting yourself up for disappointment if you send them this letter, because they're not going to react like a healthy, rational person. If you're okay with that, if you're okay with any of those three outcomes, love bombing for the purpose to manipulate and rope you back in so they can continue abusing you, devaluation where they're gonna, just make it your fault and make you feel like crap about yourself and make you doubt your decision, or discard where they're not even going to acknowledge you or, in the worst cases, talk crap about you behind your back. If you're okay with those outcomes and you think that sending this letter is going to be good for you for closure or whatever you think it's going to accomplish for you, and you're fine with those consequences, go for it. Be my guest, right? But you can't say you weren't warned. But really, if you're expecting them to kind of understand or behave in any rational sort of way by getting this letter, keep watching this video because I will kind of talk you through this. So the first question you want to ask yourself, if you, after hearing all of this, you still feel like you want to send this letter, ask yourself, why do you want to send them this letter? Like, what is my intention? Are you hoping for an apology, acknowledgement, or change? If so, again, you have to remember these people do not take accountability. So you're going to be disappointed. If you have reached a point where you've decided to go no contact, it's not random. It's not because you were bored on a random Tuesday and had nothing better to do and you saw like some random video on the internet that said like, oh, everybody needs to cut off their parents because that's the cool thing to do. No, you don't go no contact with your parents because, on a whim. Like, it's something that you've probably been thinking about for a very long time because you have endured a lifelong pattern of abuse and you've tried to work things out. You've tried to get accountability or even an acknowledgement from your narcissistic parent or parents, and you got absolutely nowhere. Guess what? I hate to be the bearer of bad news and burst your bubble, but that letter is not going to magically fix any of it. And then there might be a part of you that's wondering, what if I don't send it and, they don't understand? So here's the thing, like, whether you send this letter or not, your parents' behavior is not going to change. They're still going to love bomb, devalue, or discard you, whether you send the letter or not, because that's what they do. And by not sending them this letter, you are not giving them more ammunition, more supply, more energy, more words, more engagement, more time and energy invested engaging with them, which is what they feed off of. And if you missed my What Narcissists Want video, it's up here somewhere. Check it out because it's all about what a narcissist's goal is, regardless of who they are. As like relationship wise, it's a family member, significant other, friend, whatever. It applies to all narcissists. Their goal is to get supply. And when you don't send them this letter, you're not giving them supply. And that is you standing in your power. When you pour your heart out, right? Like, you don't want to give them more ammunition to manipulate you or smear you further, which is exactly what you're giving them if you are sending them this letter. Now, obviously, if this is a hindsight thing, if you didn't know this information before you sent the letter and you happen to be watching this video after sending the letter, just look at it like a learning thing where you didn't know what you didn't know when you didn't know about it, and now you know, and maybe their reaction makes more sense. So none of this is meant to shame anybody. If you sent the letter and you felt good about it, great, power to you. But in most cases, it's just not going to be a good idea. And if you did send a letter and you realized that it wasn't a good idea, at least this will help you prevent doing it again in the future because now you know better. What you could do instead of writing them the letter, you can write the letter for yourself. Pour your heart out uncensored, give them a piece of your mind, and then burn it if you can do so safely, or rip it up, and just get rid of it. And that will kind of that's actually a coaching exercise that I give to my clients. It's called unsent letters, where you write your narcissist a letter and then you destroy it after, and you're going to feel so much better. You're going to get so much more accomplished by ripping that letter up than by sending it to them. I promise you. And it's a really great way to kind of process some of the stuff that you went through and release some of those emotions without actually physically engaging with your abuser. At the end of the day, going no contact with a narcissistic parent is not easy, and it's, not possible for every single situation. But if you are somebody who has chosen to go no contact, or you are considering going no contact, again, this is not just like a random whim, spur of the moment decision that you made. This is a decision that you made or are potentially going to make because it's a necessary decision for you to protect your peace. You don't go no contact because of one little argument. You go no contact because you are done. You have had enough. You are not, you are putting the ultimate barrier between you and your abuser. End of story. And that is super powerful. If you are not ready for full no contact, that's okay. There's low contact or gray rocking that can be super helpful as alternatives. I did recently post a video about the boundaries that you can have with narcissists. It's up here. Feel free to check it out. I go more in depth on gray rock, low contact, or no contact as really the only realistic boundaries you can have with a narcissist and how to go about setting those boundaries. And regardless, these are great alternatives when no contact is not possible. Whichever you choose, just know that you are doing the right thing. Their behavior is not going to change, but your boundaries that you set with your actions and not with your words are what can give you that freedom to live life on your own terms. Healing from narcissistic abuse, especially a narcissistic parent, is definitely not something that most people understand or know about, and it can be really difficult to find other people who get what you're going through. And I just wanted to quickly share that I have an amazing community membership. You can join today. It's less than $1 per day to get started. You get my audio courses, you get live events each month, all these amazing bonuses, and you get to connect with fellow survivors who truly understand what you are going through. If you're interested in learning more and signing up, I invite you to check out the link in the description underneath this video, and I look forward to seeing you inside the community if you decide to join. That's it for today's video. I hope this has been helpful, and I hope this has, maybe stopped you from making a mistake and giving supply when you really don't need to be giving supply. And, if nothing, I hope it at least helps you recognize what the trap behind sending this letter is. If you have any questions, if you have any stories you want to share about, maybe you did send a letter and you realized it wasn't the best idea, feel free to share that in the comments, because you might be able to help another survivor prevent doing the same thing, and you never know who you're helping in the comments. And if you were planning on writing this letter, let me know in the comments if you are still planning on doing it. I support you either way, and at least you have the knowledge you need to know before going ahead with that. And if you have anything else that you want me to make videos about, feel free to drop some suggestions in the comments under this video as well. Once again, don't forget to like and subscribe and all the fun stuff that boosts the algorithm, and I will see you next time. Bye.